I'm warrior for all time. I play the warrior in every game. I received a lot of fucking love with my last Smith of Kitava build showcase video. So here's part 2 of the series. In this video, I'm going to show you just how tanky I am. And what better way to test your tankiness than going into Uber Simulacrum and getting gangbanged on all sides and holes by monsters and bosses. After the clips, I'll go over my gear and guide you on how to be tanky. Disclaimer, this build is not indestructible. I combine raw damage, fast map clearing, and tankiness for a balanced approach. If you want pure immortality, there are other content creators who do just that. I'll link their channel in the description below. Enjoy! If that got your panties wet like this chick, stick around. If not, then fucking watch it anyway. Although not indestructible, I am still extremely tanky. I could invest more into being indestructible, but I love damage, so no, I'm not going to. Let's get into the guide.
Generate by AI.
Let's talk about Smith of Kitava for a bit. Smith of Kitava has a lot of really good defensive nodes, but horrible, unplayable offensive nodes. So we play to our strengths and pick 100% defensive nodes in the Ascendancy tree. Smith of Kitava has this really cool node called Smith's Masterwork, which only allows you to wear normal body armor, but you have the choice of choosing these 12 nodes as your body armor's bonuses. Out of these 12 nodes and bonuses, you want to pick Dedication to Kitava, Molten Symbol, and Flowing Metal. As you can see, these nodes are literally telling you to stack armor. The armor you have, the more you mitigate elemental and chaos damage. They are basically saying that your armor will mitigate these types of damage. The other important node that you want to take is Coal Stoker, which basically means the more fire resistance you have, the more lightning and cold resistance you will have as well, albeit 50% of its value. This allows you to free up a lot of money and currency because all you need is fire and chaos damage. You will also have more space on your gear for better and useful suffixes since you're looking less at resistances.
Generate by AI.
So TLDR, we are basically investing in a fuckton of armor to get tanky. You will also be doubling down on armor applies to elemental damage on both your gear as well as passive tree. Let's go over the passive tree for a bit. We have increasing armor nodes here, 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 and here. We are also going to take armor applies to elemental damage nodes here and here.
Generate by AI.
Finally, let's dive deeper into the gear. I'm going to go over each armor slot and then tell you what to look for when you're trying to craft or buy the armor. Disclaimer: my setup is very expensive and I have min-maxed everything, so my recommendation might not reflect what I put on. For a rule of thumb, prioritize capping resistances, then strength, then armor. Then armor applies to elemental damage. Let's show you what I got. For the helmet, I would prioritize armor first, at least 1,000, 1,200 armor. It needs strength. Armor applies to elemental damage, and if you can, armor applies to chaos damage. Although, if you're looking for that last one, it can get really expensive. If you want a cheaper version of this search for a lower armor value, or a lower armor applies to elemental damage value. For the body armor, I would get the Warlord Cuirass, as it already has an implicit stat that gives you armor applies to elemental damage. For the amulet, you want to prioritize strength. Then you want to prioritize having % increased armor on there paired with % increased global defenses. This is a must if you want to scale your armor. Then you go for +3 to all melee skills. If you want a cheaper version, search for a lower increased armor and global defenses amount, and lower level to all melee skills.
Generate by AI.
Now, for the rings and belt, you're going to get the bulk of your resistances with your rings and belt. So you need prioritize fire, chaos, and any other resistances that you need on your rings and belt. This is important. It is also important for you to not blindly follow what I'm saying. Check what you need for yourself and adjust accordingly. For the rings, resistances come first, then go for strength and life, then evasion rating. You want evasion rating on them because in the passive tree, you're going to take iron reflexes, which turn evasion into armor. For the belt, resistances that you need also come first, then go for life, and then go for armor.
Generate by AI.
Now for the gloves. You want to prioritize armor. then attack speed, and then armor also applies to elemental damage, then life, and finally, level of all melee skills. For the boots, you want to prioritize at least 30% movement speed to zoom in maps. Then go for armor, strength, any resistances you have uncapped, and then armor applies to elemental damage. For the shield, it's simple. You can hold the Surrender Shield. Surrender Shield makes you extra tanky because of its high block chance. It also has the bonus that heals you when you block. If you're rich, you can go for a bigger dick shield that has high armor, which also has armor, also applies to elemental damage.
Generate by AI.
Finally, for the weapons, you want to prioritize physical damage, then level of all melee skills, attack speed, and then finally strength if possible. You need to find 3 similar weapons like this, 2 for bossing and 1 for mapping. That about covers the gear and how I became tanky. You have a lot of fucking work to do. I hope you're successful with building out your Smith of Kitava. It is truly an ascendancy that is underestimated by a lot of people, this patch. Thank you very much for tuning in and watching, boys and girls. See you in the next fucking one.
Generate by AI.